thank you for making North Point Ford #1 for 9 years running. The North Point Ford Superstore. If you shop anywhere else, you'll pay too much.
You're watching Nightside.
Speaking 2 languages can benefit you in many ways, but now new research shows it could actually help delay the onset of Alzheimer's.
That's just one of the many benefits of being bilingual, as Christina and I have found out. We are both teaching our toddlers English and Spanish.
Tonight, a closer look at the pros and cons of raising bilingual babies.
And an inside look at just how it's working for our families.
¿Qué color?
This is Cindy, just 2 years old and showing off her Spanish-speaking skills.
¿Dónde están los ojos?
And this is Palmer, not quite 2, and having a conversation in Spanish.
It was something that was so important to both me and my husband.
Having studied abroad and double majored in Spanish, Heather Crawford and her husband, who speaks conversational Spanish, wanted their child to learn a second language from a young age.
Elefante, muy bien.
And so did Christina Munoz and her husband. Christina's mother was born and raised in Chile.
¿Cómo está? Muy bien.
I had learned Spanish as a child growing up, and I wanted it to be the same experience for my child.
Both Sydney and Palmer speak Spanish every day.
Purple or morado? Muy bien.
Sydney with her mom.
Rojo.
Palmer with his El Salvadorian babysitter.
Well, it's the right time. So it's perfect to have the kids at age 2 because that is the time when their brains are like a sponge and they'll take anything in that you give them.
Dave McAlpine, a UALR professor of Spanish, says new research shows babies can actually start learning a second language in utero.
And while you can learn at any age, language comprehension slows down between the ages of 10 and 12. McAlpine says ideally it's best to start before the age of 6.
If you think about our school systems in the United States, they say, well, take your 2 years of required language in 10th grade when you're 14 or 15 years old. Don't even take it in your senior year before you go off to college. So we have a system that is not built for making bilingual students.
In the Little Rock School District, only one elementary school, Gibbs Magnet School, teaches a second language every day starting in kindergarten.
McAlpine says speaking more than one language has proven benefits.
Our research shows that they're not disadvantaged one bit. In fact, those kids usually surpass on SAT scores and stuff than the other kids.
Christina and I both researched the effects of teaching a second language from birth and learned that there can be both pros and cons.
At one point, she seemed to know less words than other kids her age because she only knew 50% of words in English and 50% words in Spanish. So if you compare the English words, she could appear behind. We did see it happen, but it's already passed. Another concern is appearing different to other children, but we both believe the benefits strongly outweigh any negatives.
You're becoming a global economy. As far as jobs go, as far as the culture goes here in the United States, it's changing, and we thought, what better gift to give him than the ability to speak a second language?
Especially watching my husband try to learn. It's so difficult to learn a language as an adult. And he knows a lot and he's learned a lot, but it's amazing to see how quick she has picked it up.
In the long run, McAlpine says speaking more than one language can pay off in a big way.
All you have to do is go to any of the stores in Arkansas and hear the language that's out there all the time and think, how much more could we sell? How much more could businesses bring in if they had people who could deal with these folks in their language?
As for our kids,
learning another language has become second nature to them.
I think it's just great for her, great exposure. I think most of the positives will be seen later, to grow up speaking a second language, to not have to learn it later through school.
And I think the more languages they can learn, the better. My husband has suggested we teach him Mandarin Chinese. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We're starting with just 2 right now. But I think the more that they can learn and the more people that they're able to communicate with, the better. Why not?
And for more information on what recent research shows, just visit KETV.com and click on the link next to the bilingual babies story. Coming up in sports, the Diamond Hogs try to make it 4 straight wins and highlights from a big night of high school hoops.
It's double match days at Crane Kia, Arkansas's #1 Kia dealer. Crane Kia is matching your down payment this tax